The first question I have is, when this entered U.S. airspace, did we know what the Chinese were trying to collect? Do we know what they were doing? Do we know what they were trying to collect?
Senator, thank you for the question. As the NORAD NORTHCOM commander has said, when the balloon entered North American airspace, NORAD had custody of it and was tracking it closely.
Yep.
As it transited across Alaska through Canada, which is, of course, part of NORAD, and we were sharing intelligence of real time and tracking and assessing with the Canadians. And as it entered the continental of the United States, we were able to track and assess and better understand.
I got the tracking, and I
Yep.
got that. I want to know if we knew what the Chinese were trying to collect with that balloon, with that reconnaissance balloon.
Jed, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, Senator, thanks for the question. We can probably get into details more in the classified setting.
You can just say yes or no.
Sir,
You don't need to get into specifics. Just, did we know what they're trying to collect? Yes or no?
yes, sir, we understand that this is a broader, part of a broader suite of operations that China is undertaking.
So we knew what they were looking for.
Sir, I think we should talk about this more explicitly in the classified session, but yes, sir, we understand that this is part of the broader suite of operations that China is undertaking to try and get better understanding of U.S.
I got it.
Sir.
I mean, there's all sorts of suites of operations we have with what's going on in outer space and everything. But the question is, did we know what that balloon was trying to gather? Do we know what information it was trying to gather from the United States? It didn't fly over us by accident. It was intentional. Do we know what the Chinese Communist government was looking for?
Senator, we have some very good guesses about that, and we are learning more as we exploit the contents of the balloon and the payload itself.
Okay, so it has been brought to the attention, not in classified session, but through the news, that this isn't the first time this has happened. This has happened several times before. My question is if we waited to shoot this one down over water, why didn't we shoot the last ones down over water?
Senator, I'll take that question. We are learning more about the balloon program. We are more aware of this balloon program in recent months than we have been in the past. So, Senator, I think that our assessments are maturing about the intent behind these balloons and the operational activity.
So let me get this right. I put a lot of faith into the military leadership. I've met with a lot of generals and their top flight folks, including the ones here, and admirals. I put faith in them because I believe they know the issue better than I do, okay? So the real question here is that if we had an incursion before and we shot this one down when it hit water, why didn't we shoot the previous ones down and gather intelligence from those so we knew what was going to happen? And by the way, this is going to happen again. And so why haven't we, either this is no big deal in the military's eyes, and I don't think you're going to say that, or there's not a consistent plan on how to deal with them.
Senator,
Talk to me.
Senator, thank you for the question. If I may, just to build upon what Jed was saying, the PRC government surveillance balloons have transited the continental United States briefly, at least 3 times during the prior administration.
And so the question is why didn't we shoot them down over water then?
The duration of this particular balloon was much longer.
Right.
And the information that we have since gleaned about the balloons that have transited globally was only recently discovered. We can share more in the classified setting.
Okay. So, okay. So we're talking about putting a budget together for the Defense Department. It was a really robust budget last cycle. I don't remember hearing about anything that dealt with balloons in the budget. Do we have a plan on what we're going to do next time this happens?
Senator, thank you. As you know, in the National Defense Strategy from 2022, the PRC is the pacing challenge.
I know, but what about the balloons? I got all the other stuff, and we deal with it.
Absolutely.
Is there money in the budget, or if you're not into that, if you're not in that pay grade,
Yep.
do we have a plan for when this happens again and what we're going to do and when we're going to do it? I will tell you this, and I appreciate but the truth is, we think we know what they were going to collect. We don't know. That scares the hell out of me.
Senator, thank you. It is incredibly serious, and please know, as we are recovering the balloon and learning more about it, and also kludging that with what we learned last week, we are building our understanding of what capabilities they have, what we need to do going forward.
And what about, and I'm over time, and this is the last thing, so you can answer it, I hope. Do we have a plan for the next time it happens and how we're going to deal with it? Because quite frankly, I'll just tell you, I don't want a damn balloon going across the United States when we potentially could have taken it down over the Aleutian Islands, no offense to Alaska, or in some of the areas in Montana. And I understand public health. I understand doing damage. I understand that could have been a nightmare. But the truth is I got a problem with a Chinese balloon flying over my state, much less the rest of the country.
Senator, absolutely. We sent a very clear message to the PRC when we shot it down in our sovereign airspace, in our sovereign waters, that has established that deterrent line. Jed, if you maybe turn to you in terms of communications with the PRC.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. We continue to conduct outreach to the PRC. We conducted outreach during the course of the events last week and have attempted subsequently. Part of the plan is to encourage the Chinese administration to open their lines of communication.
You can tell the folks at 11:30 that in classified session, I want to know what our response is going to be for the next balloon that comes over, military response.
Sir, thank you.
Susan Collins.